if it seems as if there's not enough open dialogue between members of our two political parties, you're right, there isn't. But dating back to the 60s, Meet the Press has been a place where some of those conversations have taken place by having the chairs of the DNC and RNC on the show together. Today, the parties are losing ground to their activist wings, chasing after the very voters they're supposed to lead. And joining me now in their first joint appearance since starting their new jobs, DNC Chair Tom Perez, RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel. Welcome.
Great to be here.
Great to be here. It's our first time meeting each other.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, see, we can broker peace right here.
That's right.
Look, I want to start with this, and it goes to this issue of why people are so angry. Pew Research in the spring of last year said, and the question of whether does the other political party make me afraid, 55% of Democrats said that about Republicans, and 49% of Republicans said about this. So, I don't think the things have gotten better since this poll was done. Why do you think Republicans are afraid of Democrats? And same question to you, and I'll let you start.
I'm not afraid of Democrats, and as Michigan chair, especially this election, we had a lot of Democrat for President Trump, Union Democrats, people who hadn't traditionally voted Republican. I think we do have to have more of a dialogue, talk about our differences in a respectful way. Sometimes it gets elevated too much. But we have Democrats in our family. I have Democrats in my family. I hope you have Republicans in your family. But I think that's part of our job as leaders, is to tone down the rhetoric and have a discussion about ideas.
Why do you think we've gotten to this point?
Well, I think we need to lead with our values, Chuck. And, you know, health care is a right for all, not a privilege for a few. And we are the party of opportunity for everyone, not just opportunity for a few at the top. And I think when we lead with our values, we can command the respect and support of the majority of the American people, because I think people want a good job for everyone. They want secure retirement. They want health care. They want a roof over their head. Those are not just Democratic values. Those are American values.
It's interesting you bring up values, though, because it was funny, our pollsters said that they were doing a focus group, and it was one of those focus groups that had a third, Dems, Rs, and Indies, and said, what is a common American value? What is a value that you think both parties would share, a shared American value? And the room went silent. The room went silent. There's this belief that somehow Democrats and Republicans don't share any common values anymore. How did we get to that point? That's what I'm trying to get at. Let me go ahead.
Well, I think we do share common values.
What is it? Give me one.
We want better jobs for people. We want better wages. Listen, the Republican Party is not the party for the wealthy. We care about everyone. I think there's a different way to get to those things, and I just disagree with their path. I don't think bigger government is the way to get things better. I don't think a failing Obamacare that's collapsing and insurers are pulling out of the marketplace is the right way to do it. But I do think we'd be better having a dialogue, talking about our different paths and how we get to the same solution. But I think everybody wants a better life for our kids, better jobs, better wages, better an economy, national security, and a strong country.
I think the debate on the Trump care bill is a perfect example of our differences. We believe as Democrats that health care is a right for all, not a privilege for a few. And you know, the Affordable Care Act cut the ranks of the uninsured by almost 50%. Was it perfect? No. And the North Star for us is, are we helping people get access to quality, affordable health care? Can we do better? The challenge that we have now is that the Trump care is not a health care bill. It's a tax cut for very wealthy people, and it really exposes this fissure.
Let me step in really quick, because if you're concerned about health, I think health insurance is one thing, but right now you have health insurance costs that are doubling, you have deductibles that are so high, and you have insurers pulling out of the marketplace. But that's not health care. Okay, so Obamacare didn't get people health care. It got them higher and higher health insurance that they can't access health care with. And so we have to find a way. And you know what? Republicans are sitting at the table and we're saying, Democrats, come over, talk with us. You put this in place, be part of the solution. It's failing.
Let me let you respond to that.
Chuck, I mean, this is really important. You know, the Affordable Care Act saved lives. I spoke to people. I get approached by people every day. My son's on the autism spectrum, and if I lose the coverage under Medicaid, I'm going to have to institutionalize him. We talk about the opioid epidemic, and roughly a third of the coverage under the opioid victims is through Medicaid, and they want to change Medicaid as we know it. And then this week or so you'll see a bill to add $45 billion to combat opioid abuse. You know, that's like taking $1 away and then saying I'll give you 20 cents back. That's not going to help people. You know, that's like going to a 5-alarm fire.
Was
Chuck.
not affordable. The Affordable Care Act is not affordable. Premiums have gone up 105%.
I have no doubt that the two of you agree on the direction to go to Obamacare.
It's failing. Tell me that it's doing well. Our marketplaces, our insurers pulling out of the marketplace. Are there 49 counties that won't have an insurer next year? Are there 40% of the counties that will have only one? Our premiums doubling.
Go ahead.
It's failing.
Talk to the person who's been confronting the opioid epidemic, and the Affordable Care Act has helped them get access to.
And we're trying to find solutions to keep that in place.
But Chuck,
I want to pause the healthcare debate here a minute, because I know where you guys are on this, but I want to ask a larger question here that has to do with this fight a little bit. There's a lot of people that are in the middle on this, okay? They hear a little bit from you and think, yeah, this is a little too expensive. And they hear what you have to say and they think, no, but you know what, this is a right. We need to figure this out. But they feel as if the two parties don't give them an opportunity to be sort of center-left or center-right, whether it's on this solution or that. Do you accept this premise that both of your parties are captured by the bases right now? I'll let you answer on this.
No, I don't. And here's, Chuck, let's talk about the access to health care. You know, I believe, again, that access to health care is a right for all, not a privilege for a few. When we debated the Affordable Care Act in 2009 in the Senate, there were 100 hearings in the Senate. There were 143 amendments to the final Senate bill that were Republican amendments. If this hadn't been done in secret, as the recent bill had been done, we could have come together. Chuck Schumer has said, President Trump, convene us the way that President Obama did, because I'm confident that we can come together if our North Star is we're going to help increase access to quality, affordable health care.
Where are you right now? Their Democrats are sitting on their hands. They're watching this thing that they've crafted collapse, and they're saying, we're not coming to the table. But I'll
answer my question.
Answer your question.
Like, the centrists don't feel welcome in either party right now.
Well, with all due respect, when Tom's saying Republicans don't give a blank about anyone, when he goes around and says that about the other party, I know Democrats care other people. We just have a difference of opinion on the path to get there. But that type of rhetoric doesn't bring people to our parties. We have to have reasonable discussions, have a dialogue, be respectful of each other, but share our opinions as to what the best path is to get to the same place we both want to go, which is a better life for our kids, for our grandkids.
She brought up a line that you said, that you were quoted as saying. Do you regret saying that?
No, well, you know, Chuck, here's the problem. I meet people who are worried to death because this Republican repeal bill is not a health care bill. It's a tax cut bill for the mega wealthy masquerading as a health care bill.
To say Republicans don't give a blank about you.
200,000 people will die if the Affordable Care Act is repealed. Chuck, don't take my word for it. These are the assessments of people who have looked at the bill. 22 million people are going to lose their lifeline.
I'm always happy to have a discussion.
The opioid epidemic is very real.
All right, and no.
And a 5-alarm fire, and you don't fight a 5-alarm fire with only a gallon of gas. And that's what they're trying to do.
We're the only ones manning the stations.
All right, I'm going to end the conversation here. The debate will continue, I know, this week and far beyond. Thank you for both appearing together and being very spirited with each other.
Pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it both. Okay.